So you've outgrown your home and you're wondering how you're going to be able to find something you can move into that's bigger, maybe has a bigger yard, without spending upwards of $700,000 and feeling queasy about it. Well, I've got news for you. I'm going to give you 4 areas in Polk County that you can get into a beautiful, larger home without breaking the bank. So let's get into it. So what exactly is a move-up buyer? Well, in my experience, move-up buyers have been first-time home buyers that have been in their homes for a few years, and now their family's grown or their needs have changed. Sometimes it's a couple who's maybe their parents are older and they need to be able to take care of them. They need more room to be able to bring the parents in and house them. Sometimes it's kids that have gone off and left the nest, coming back to the nest because of financial issues or whatever the case may be. But either way, most of my move-up buyers have been looking for bigger homes, bigger yard space, and more amenities like a pool or anything like that, sometimes an outdoor kitchen. But they're looking for things that will make up for what they didn't have in the smaller home before. And so there are 4 places in Polk County that are perfect for this kind of buyer. The first one is South Lakeland, especially the 33811, 33812, and possibly 33813 zip codes. Those are going to be all down in South Lakeland, very close to Shepherd Road and Florida Avenue. And they're going to sprawl out from, Shepherd Road, goes all the way out to County Line, and you've got the 33811, which is in that area there. You've got 33813 and 12, which are a little bit further to the east. All of that is very much fertile ground for homes that are going to be bigger, going to be, they're going to have more room. Sometimes they'll have a quarter an acre. Sometimes they'll have a third or a half an acre. It just kind of depends. A lot of them are going to have pools. There aren't a lot of pool homes out right now because the market is such that people are hanging on to those homes, but they do come up. They pop up occasionally, and when they do, it's just a great time to jump in there and grab one. The prices for homes in that area are going to hover around $400, let's just say $400 to $550,000. Now you start getting into the next area, which would be Bartow. You may actually be able to get into a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath house for maybe even a little bit under $400 in Bartow. Same thing with Lake Alfred. Lake Alfred has a ton of homes that are in that price range, somewhere's around $400 to $550, 2,400 square feet. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath house. And I shouldn't really say a ton of them because really 4-bedroom homes are not the mainstay for our market. 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes are. And so when you're looking for a 4-bedroom home, the amount of homes that are out there in that size range, especially 2,400 square foot and above, tends to go down, but they come up periodically, and when they do, it's just a great time to jump on them. The price point can be well under that $700,000 that most people are assuming, especially people that are coming from up north that are thinking, man, I've got to spend a ton of money to be able to get what I want. That's not necessarily true. Somewhere between $450,000 and $500,000 could get you a beautiful home at that price point with a pool, sometimes an outdoor kitchen, sometimes a jacuzzi, kind of depends, but can be a beautiful way to go. Now, when you look at prices in Tampa and Orlando, the price point jumps considerably. If you're looking at Tampa and Orlando, those same homes that you could find in South Lakeland and Lake Alfred are going to be much more expensive. Now, the other 2 areas that we could be talking about are going to be Auburndale and Bartow. Now, Auburndale has a lot of different, kind of a varying subset of communities in Auburndale. So you've got everything from working communities where you've got working class neighborhoods, homes in the 300s or less, and then you've got communities that are like more upscale, sometimes lakefront homes with pools. Those can go 400, 500, and then on up to the 7s. but it depends on exactly where you go. The biggest thing to understand about Auburndale is that it's a small town and it doesn't have a lot as far as local amenities. So like shopping, stuff like that. Restaurants, you're limited. Shopping, you're limited. Same thing with Lake Alfred, but they're close enough to Winter Haven and Lakeland that you can jet on out and get into whatever you're looking for. The prices are going to be much better. Now, Bartow also is a little bit different because with Bartow, you have that area towards downtown Bartow where you can get into the historic homes, and a lot of those homes are 4, sometimes 5-bedroom homes, sometimes 2, 3-bathroom homes. They're very nice. They're older. Don't get me wrong. These are historic homes, so they can be 50, 60, 70 years old, but some of them have been very well maintained, and some of them have been completely rehabbed. Now, when it comes to homes like that, you're probably going to be looking at the high 4s, maybe up to the mid to high 5s, depending. But you're still going to be well under that $600,000 or $700,000 range. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit more modern, there's a lot of new home construction that's going on in all of these areas, whether it's Auburndale, whether it's Lakeland, especially South Lakeland, whether it's Bartow or Lake Alfred. There's a ton of new homes going up, and the new homes are they're anywhere from 1,800 to 3,000, sometimes 3,200 or 3,500 square feet. Brand new homes, 4-bedroom, sometimes 5-bedroom, 2 baths, 2.5, 3 baths, depending. And they're still going to be in that $400,000 to $600,000 range. It just kind of depends. The yard sizes on the new homes are the only thing that are really disappointing. The yard sizes are absolutely tiny. It's just like a postage stamp, and you're squashed in between your neighbors. And so you have, 8 feet maybe between your house and the house next to you on either side. That can be kind of a drag. If you're not into that, it can be kind of rough. As far as like the HOAs and the CDD fees and all of that stuff, they're fairly moderate HOA fees on some of these places like Harmony at Lake Eloise. They can be $60, $65 a month. CDD fees around $250, $275. So you're not looking at a lot of money for HOA and CDD fees. And if you're not sure what a CDD fee is, make sure you put that in the comments below and I'll explain it. The other thing too is when you're looking at the difference between these areas and places like Tampa, Orlando, or whatever, just remember that the property taxes are going to be lower. Insurance for homes in the state of Florida has really gone up. Unfortunately, sorry about that, I left my phone on. Unfortunately, the only surefire insurance company we have right now is Citizens. And even though you can get a fairly good deal with Citizens, it depends on the coverage. Now, you don't have to go out and spend $5,000 a year on insurance to insure your home. I've seen most of my customers under $3,000, I should say, for homeowners insurance, and then a little bit higher, maybe about $40 a month higher for flood insurance. But you don't have to go crazy when it comes to getting insurance for your home. You can still get great coverage. Now, Lake Alfred is a very small community, and even though it has lower taxes and it is very close to Winter Haven, and it does have a lot of space, a lot more nature and whatnot, you're still in a situation in Lake Alfred where you're not really close to a lot of things in Lake Alfred. So if you want to go big shopping, if you want to go big dinner, if you want to go nightlife, any of that kind of stuff, not going to happen in Lake Alfred. You're going to need to go to Lakeland, to Winter Haven, Davenport, or to Tampa or Orlando, which you're looking at a little over an hour drive either way. So my point here is there are give and takes to moving into these areas and getting a much bigger home. You're going to get a much nicer home for a lot less money, but you may not have everything you're looking for in the community that you'd wanted in, like maybe you could have gotten in another community. But if you're looking at just cost effectiveness, these communities are going to offer you a lot more than other communities in the area. You're going to be able to get a much nicer house and not spend nearly as much. Now, if you're looking at moving into the area and you just want somebody to kind of walk you through it, make sure you get a hold of me. My contact information is in the description below. And if you want to do a quick Zoom call with me, just go to talkwithvince.com. I'll be more than happy to sit down and walk you through all of this and see, what we can do to answer your questions and get you prepared to make that move. There are other areas out there besides these four, but I just wanted to cover these four for now. There are other areas that still might be fantastic for you, and we can talk about that when you get a hold of me. Hope you liked the video, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.